I've been meaning to get on here and do some videos of some of the projects I've been doing for a while now, and this one seemed like the perfect excuse. I had a project recently where I had to make a whole load of drawer boxes, and it wasn't something I'd done too much of, so I was sort of looking up different ways of doing it online and watching lots of YouTube videos, and there was one technique that I thought was really interesting, really cool, called the quarter technique. Mainly being done by Americans, and the quarter referring obviously to imperial, quarter inch. I wanted to do something like this, but with metric, using 18mm ply for my sides, fronts and backs, and 9mm ply for my drawer bottoms. And although the maths was the same, so it's kind of easy to just take those imperial videos and apply that technique with my metric materials, I also saw that there wasn't anyone on YouTube that I could find that had done a metric version of this technique, so it's super cool. Most of the videos I saw were using a table saw with a dado-stack to do this. I'm using a very rough router table setup that I'm going to show you now, but yeah, changing it over from quarter inch, I'm using 18mm and 9mm, and I'm calling this the 999 drawer box technique. So this is my very crude router table setup. And the principle of this technique is that with one setup, using these three values of 9mm, 9mm and 9mm, providing you're using the right thickness material for your sides, fronts and backs and your drawer bottoms, you can set this up and then not have to shift anything and do all of your joinery for all of your drawer boxes and drawer box bottoms without having to change anything. 9mm router cutter, which is protruding 9mm from my throat plate, and which is spaced 9mm from my guide fence, so hence the 999. And this means that we can do the cuts on our sides, our fronts and our backs, and then also the dado groove for our drawer bottom without moving any of this whatsoever. So I've cut some stock, I'll show you now. So I've got here some 18mm birch, which is just offcuts from around the workshop and stuff, and I'm making a drawer which is 180mm tall, 400mm wide by 600mm deep. So the drawer sides you're going to cut to the full length, so these are 600mm long, and the drawer front and back are going to sit within those sides, so these are going to be cut slightly short. So I wanted a 400mm wide drawer, so I've cut these 118mm thickness short. So these are cut at 382. Our drawer sides, we're going to run over this way on each end, and that's going to give us a dado here, which is 9mm wide, 9mm deep, and 9mm in from the end. We're going to do that on both of our sides, and then on our front and our back, we're going to put the piece vertically and take a rabbet out by going this way. And this is going to be on the outside face of our fronts and backs. I'll explain why in a minute. And that's going to give you a 9mm deep and a 9mm wide rabbet with a 9mm shoulder left over there. Once we've done that, we're going to take all of the pieces, and on whichever is our bottom edge of our drawer, we're going to run it over long ways, so that again we get a 9mm deep, 9mm wide dado running 9mm in from the edge, which is going to receive our drawer bottom, for which I'm using 9mm ply. This isn't birch ply, this is just cheap general purpose ply for the drawer bottom. Just one quick note, because I've made this mistake and I've seen other YouTubers have made this mistake as well. Obviously on these pieces, our vertical dados to receive our drawer front and back, and our long horizontal dado to receive our drawer bottom is all going to be on the inside face of the drawer side. On the front and the back though, you're going to want obviously your long horizontal dado on the inside to receive your drawer bottom, but the rabbet shoulder that you're going to make to slot into the drawer sides is going to want to be on the outside. If this is your drawer front and this is your drawer side, we want the back, it's the back side that we want our rabbet to be slotting into this dado. And basically what that means is, no matter how many years of pulling this drawer front gets, the force of that pull is pulling into the joint. So these are going to, just with glue and no screws, these are going to last forever. so that's all of our routing done. Here are our sides and our fronts and our backs. So the rabbits here and then the dados on the other sides. So you can see how these are going to start to get an idea for how these are going to work. So I'm just going to cut my draw bottoms out of this 9mm ply. Basically, it's pretty basic. You just do your overall dimensions, which, like I said, is 400 by 600, and then you just take off 18 in each direction because obviously these dados here are 9mm deep, so it leaves 9mm at each end. Rather than take off 18, I just take off around 20, and that gives you a mil on every dimension or 2mm in each direction to play around with. 58, 580, 38.